people outside waiting with them in.
So long. That's what it did. It's been years since like 5 after.
How does someone hire a part-time employee without getting it talked about at a township meeting for the community being able to hear it? Who got hired part-time without?
We hired a part-time police officer last night.
No, we talked about that.
Briefly.
We made a motion in Wednesday to put him
Yeah.
on Sunday. And then he's got a change of heart per se.
I threw that away.
Huh?
I threw that away. Yeah, but anybody that was signing about it, sign it, that was that guy's from Champion.
Well, I believe he is.
I don't know, I'm uncertain.
I'm pretty sure.
Was it something you got in the mail or something?
Yeah, it was in your folder today.
Well, you got it.
I grabbed it and didn't hand it to you.
Who, I got it?
It came to you, didn't it? You haven't
It
seen
came-
that?
No.
Oh, I was looking on here for it, like, what is he reading? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's one, this looks like according to what you typed up that section for you
Huh?
on the agenda, in big font.
Yeah. I guarantee you, if I was learning something
there
that
people out
not
there,
things
really?
I would be complaining about.
Sean, are there people out there?
No, I was just joking. Thought maybe you were holding the crowd out for a little bit.
Never seen that handwriting before.
I'm just saying. If you don't have the coolies to sign it, I'm not gonna get that.
I gotta tell you that I am not a handwriting expert, but I'm pretty sure Helen Keller could identify that.
Now what? Gee.
No, you'll hear. Give it time.
Are you calling me Helen Keller?
If the shoe fits, but I didn't say that. Ray Charles could see that. How's that? Is that better?
Stevie Wonder?
Okay, we'll go with Stevie. Is that camera running?
Really?
I don't see a red light.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, is there?
Well, then I'm sure these things will be edited out since we're not in a public meeting yet.
Of course.
How you doing, Rick?
I didn't think there'd be too many of those.
Sounds
Pretty
like
nice out.
About your business.
Oh, yeah, I'm enjoying the weather.
They don't know that much about my business, but they'll know more before the night's over.
No, let's get going.
First of all, if you don't have the set big enough to sign your name to it, don't send it. That's the way I see life. Just the way it is. If you can't say it, you gotta hide behind an ink pen or a computer someplace. You're just a little baby that stay home. Shut your mouth. You wanna be a man, come on out here and come see me. I'd be more than happy to talk about you.
What out, Clark?
It's the way it is. It's the way I am. It's how I roll. If you don't like it, too bad. Probably couldn't hear anything I said anyway.
It was sent to the administration. I thought that was this.
I'm ready. I've lost my agenda.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Need a pen?
Lost mine.
No, I just didn't think to get one out yet.
Oh,
Oh, you get small rating.
What? What's that? How do you got a different one?
That's,
Well, what else is new?
you got two.
You want
That's
to blow
good,
up
we
one?
usually have 3 or 4.
that's the elderly edition.
This is the what?
He's got the elderly edition.
I'm so offended.
You want a copy of that?
No, I'm good. I got my prescription.
Hold on, one
readers
more over
This is
here.
gonna be a harsh meeting.
Hurts.
Okay.
This would have been fun.
They just said the tax is gonna be
I didn't
a
get that one. I
celebration
have
of
small
life
print.
for that this coming
I like the big print better.
Bifocal version.
somewhere in Farmington.
Yeah, that would be nice, thank you. When that happened,
I
just said I forgot my glasses.
Hmm?
I made 15 copies of the regular font, and then I went to make just one for me.
Good dude.
And I forgot it was on 15.
I gotta share your shoes, but it's
Beautiful. Thank you.
Everything's squared away,
I can see it.
has insurance cut down.
It's the elderly version.
I don't need that.
We were telling him to, cut it by the farm.
Huh?
Do what?
The garage.
Do what?
Oh.
His house.
Yeah, we were telling him,
15
"Hey,
copies.
here's a letter. Bring you back right to it."
Bill's like, wow, how much food you gonna kill it? He saw your
Yeah,
company.
nice.
Never would
So I
expect
guess my
that.
staples were gonna
Out to eat, huh?
Yeah, I didn't care.
Mhm.
I left it in because I took my wife to Clinton for an appointment.
Yeah, it's killing me right now. I've been coming in every morning, 3 a.m.
Please.
Please take some.
There till 6 or 7 o'clock at night,
No.
or until we're caught up enough to go home. I go home, take a
I'll
shower,
work
I'm
for it,
done.
and then they'll take 3.
Crash, get up 3 a.m., go do it again. We're screwed.
What do you want beside the printer again?
We're
Huh?
just happy.
Beside the printer?
Out back stage,
I'm thinking of like closer to the refrigerator, over by the microwave.
Oh,
him and his
yeah.
girlfriend went out there.
Yeah, 'cause I don't like having
They brought the
stuff with
drinks.
sticker, That bothers me, I'm afraid.
He,
The guys at the
took a
table.
sip of his
Yeah.
drink,
Okay. No problem.
there, I believe was a rum and coke, and said, wow, that's harsh. Call a squad, he was dead. That was it, right now. So, there was,
Good thing was it?
yeah, it might have well have been.
Yeah, what kind of rum was that?
There was a paramedic there, and he started doing CPR on him until Lane got there, and Lane came, transported him. You know who, Petey was there,
Really?
saw the whole thing. And, you know, he was just dead. They put him on life support, he was on life support till, I guess Friday night or something. He wound up, they kept him on life support because he was an organ donor, and there wasn't a whole bunch good there, but they got a couple good parts, so,
Who made the decision?
yeah,
No, who made the decision to take him off?
brother.
Hmm.
He got a twin brother.
That's tough. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
seen
didn't know
that.
that.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Matt worked for me.
Yeah.
for 18, a little over 18 years. He had a twin brother, worked for Jimmy Schultz.
Oh, jeez.
And if you didn't know him, you would not tell the two of them apart.
Really?
If Mike walked in here right now, you'd probably fall off your chair, you'd be, oh my God. I mean, they both worked for me for a while,
Wow.
but I learned that one Carson's enough. They're both pretty strong-willed, stubborn guys, and,
Oh, that's a loss for you.
it's a mess.
He's a good guy.
It's kind of
He
ironic
did
because if you
Most
take-
of my welding,
Okay.
he was a certified welder, so we always had him do all that kind of stuff, and, yeah, it's just, you never know.
That's ironic because if you take, you and Jimmy Schultz and put you guys behind a curtain and listen to both of you talk, you couldn't tell who's who. Have you ever met Jimmy Schultz, Rex?
Probably, I'm terrible with recognition of everybody.
If you're not looking at him, you think that that's Doug Emmer talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. You guys ready?
Yep. Ready.
Cordy?
Trustee Emery,
Calling somebody?
No.
trustee
Somebody
Fee,
calling somebody.
Present.
trustee Templeton,
Present.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
This way.
Well, I was doing that too.
I was watching Rex.
I saw Rex, I'm like, what the hell's he looking at? Oh, he's looking on the right flag.
Yeah. Okay, we got an announcement here. Applications are being accepted for alternate to the zoning commission, preferably somebody willing to do the secretarial duties for the commission. Me and Courtney talked about this a little bit today. They've got 5 members on the board. Evidently, what is it, Silas Dozer is interested in being on the board, but I don't think he's interested in doing the minutes, nor is the other candidate that applied with it before, it was Kuzma. Neither one of them. I don't think that, this is just an opinion, but I don't think we should deprive them from being on the board just because they don't want to be the secretary. I think when John was talking to us about that, he was kind of asking if they would, we would grant them permission to have somebody do that other than a board member. Thoughts, guys?
What?
Thoughts?
What's the expected compensation for that? Is there, or isn't there?
I'm
Someone-
sorry.
Someone just gonna volunteer to do that, or is there expected compensation?
Well, I'm sure they expect compensation.
Well, it makes no sense to me to have a secretary that's not part of the commission. I mean, it seems kinda crazy. That being said, we need a secretary, so my first thought would be to allow them to get somebody outside, and we'll keep taking applications till we find somebody who wants to be part of the commission, that wants to do secretarial duties, and we'll replace somebody and put them in. Am I wrong?
It's just, to me, it's incomprehensible. You have 5 people, and none of them want to take notes, essentially. You know, I might be oversimplifying this. Most letters that go out, I'm sure have been form type letters, and it wouldn't be difficult to duplicate those and cross out and fill in. I mean, I don't think there's too many letters that are provided by them that you have to create from scratch. But I don't know. You would think out of 5 there would be somebody that would step up and just take notes and do what's needed, but
I would agree with you guys on that. The reason I brought that up is because I don't think that Silas or Kuzma should be denied being on the board because they want a person that's going to take the minutes of the meeting. If someone were to go down on his zoning board, then you might end up with a 2-2 tie. That alternate is pertinent to have in place, and it's technically legal and by rights we should have 2 alternates. So at least naming one,
Yeah.
because Sally's in,
And since the fifties
Florida.
with no alternates,
Sorry?
we went since the zoning began with no alternates, I think. Stepping into one alternate's probably good, and, my problem with it is that we're looking to put an alternate on the board, not a member. So I would think that the secretarial position should be filled with a member of the board. Somebody that's more in tune with what's going on there, that is active within that board. Now, I get it, but it's my thought. I don't think that we should be looking at an alternate to do the secretarial duties at all.
put one alternate on,
Well,
just to alleviate that, and then I agree with you, somebody within the commission should be doing the, clerical work.
hey, that's my
Because we
thought.
pay extra for clerical work. It's a major $5 for, but there can't be that much.
It's definitely more than $5 worth.
Oh, no doubt.
Right?
But,
$5, you can't even get
hey,
a cup
wait a
of
minute,
coffee
wait
and a
minute, wait
donut
minute.
for
Who-
$5.
Who's the one that approved this? I think the three of us did.
It was a different time.
Just a thought, if you guys wanna consider that for the next meeting, that's fine.
Well, I don't know what our options are anyhow.
Our option would be to put at least one on there as an alternate and have a talk with the commission and say, hey fellas, and ladies, somebody's gonna have to step up when Sally is done and do this.
I mean, that's what makes the most sense to me, but I'm one guy, you know, but it kinda makes sense to me that that's the way it's always been done. So. That would be, look at this guy. It's,
Mr. Berry, we're just talking about the zoning board, and, as far as getting somebody like John was referring to be the secretary, take Sally's position when her term's done. The two candidates that we had was Silas Dozer and one of the Kuzmo family members, and they both told that withdrew their application from being on it.
If they
Is that
needed,
correct?
if they had to fulfill the secretary duties, they didn't have that.
If they had to fulfill the secretary Sally's job, they didn't want to step into that position. What we were just discussing here was one, we've got 5 members, Sally's in Florida, so the thoughts were to put at least one alternate on there, so you have a 5-member panel, so in case you have a 2-2, we can break the tie and move forward. 2 would be, somebody's gotta step up and do it when Sally is done doing this within the zoning board itself. Who that may be, we don't know, but that's the way it's always been. Thoughts?
Is it okay if I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fine. We've talked about this a lot. I'm very concerned about the same thing. You know, Sally's done a terrific job and, got a mountain of knowledge. And, it's gonna be tough. And those of us that are there now, the average age is, up there, you know.
You know, it seems, Mr. Berry, that it's like that in almost every organization. I mean, you got Rex, he passed it on the soccer league to somebody younger and so on, and they stepped up, but it's getting harder to find, excuse me, people to step into these positions, to hand it off. It seems like us old timers are, I'm speaking for myself.
I'm good.
But just your thoughts on putting at least somebody on there to break the tie. I mean, we don't have to do that this evening, but, cause I don't think you have anything coming up before our next meeting, do you?
I'm not positive of a date, but I think we may well, have another issue we're talking about, but, not positive. I talked to John a couple days ago. I accompanied him to that planning commission, meeting, and, we got a lot of good information there.
Good.
In cooperation, I think. But this issue with the secretary, I keep bringing that up, and, there was another lady, that I talked to that expressed interest about a year ago on being on the zoning commission. And, John and I talked about her, but I don't know if she's submitted a resume or not.
There's one lady that we've been pursuing that her whether she's willing to take that on. She's a member of the Historical Society.
That's,
Mrs. Mines.
probably the same
Mrs.
lady.
Mines.
Cindy Mines.
Yeah.
Cindy Mines, Mrs. Mines.
She's involved in so many things, though, you know, especially, I try to
She had mentioned it
have her
last meeting,
do
just
the
ask her questions about
secretary's
it.
job right off the bat. And that's kind of tough. It's not so much just keeping the records, but the knowledge that who you're gonna contact and make sure the meeting notice is in the paper properly. And there's a lot of cooperation, I think, between Sally and the planning commission. She's got connections there, so there's a lot to learn there.
It's gonna be hard to fill her shoes no matter what we do.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the best things to fill her shoes would be with one of the members of the board of
I agree.
the zoning board that's been there.
Well, John asked me if I was interested in it, and I'm really not. I just have too many other things I'm trying to clean up. I'm 80 years old now. I got projects I just have to finish. And I've had a few health issues, so truthfully, the main reason though that I'm really reluctant to do it is that, I'm having a lot of memory issues and so forth, and, so.
Well, we appreciate you being on the board, Mr. Barry.
Well, our choices are very, very limited.
We'll just have to keep advertising
I'm sorry.
and keep advertising until we can find the right candidate to get in place.
Okay. Do you, want to do anything with, putting the alternate on this time and leaving the second alternate position open, for that candidate that, we keep advertising for?
Do we have two alternates now?
No, well, we only had one alternate.
I don't think we have any.
Two alternates?
Well, we don't this time, we don't have
We're
any
gonna
alternates,
lose.
but we're allowed to have
So you wanna
two.
put two guys on right now?
Member to the board.
We haven't lost
Well,
any.
the thing is, you know, we can't say we can do it right now because we have two candidates that said, I'm not interested, so you have to go back to them and ask,
I get it.
you know, so I think we should table this until
Okay, great.
next meeting.
We'll table this till,
Okay.
Sally's still in Florida, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
John's been trying to get a
Table
touch with her
with
for the last few days, and so far,
It's tabled.
as of a couple of days ago, you haven't been able to get her.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Berry. Excuse me, another announcement, and, it's important, is the, township cleanup date will be, April 22nd of this year from 8 to 2 p.m. at the township building. No chemicals, paint, a limit of 8 tires per resident. Please, enter the premises from 305 and exit through the cemetery on Route 45 will keep the traffic flowing cohesively. If you have any, paint or chemicals, please get a hold of the Jaga Trumbull Solid Waste website to get instructions for disposal. They will not be accepted at our facility. Identification will be required, to prove residency for the scrap tires, and normally I'm sitting down there at the scrap tire thing. Somebody did mention something about the school program, I can't remember who it was, and have some of the kids come down.
Juniors and seniors.
Juniors and seniors.
Honor Roll Society, lady got ahold of me and asked, and I told her I'd bring it to you, I was gonna bring it to you Tuesday, but, or Monday's meeting, but, yeah.
I think all these kids need community service hours to graduate
Yes.
now, so we're gonna, don't have to be just honor roll to do that. If we're gonna, have
Anyway.
volunteers from the school that wanna get community service hours by checking IDs and stuff. Have the schools provide us a list, or, at least have the schools make students aware and have them get a hold of them.
The school actually has forms that the kids will probably have with them for him to sign,
Mhm.
and then they keep a record for their graduation.
We don't need 30 kids there though, so.
I'll email her tomorrow back and start you the list, and then we'll go from there.
I think the only thing that we need, for protection for the township is an indemnification, paper, to come down and, give us a hand.
Well, I don't need them hands-on touching anything. I mean, they can't be out back unloading trucks and stuff.
Okay,
I agree, I was gonna bring it up, but, you know, so I'm all for, high schoolers coming and helping out and getting the community hours in. But, if they grab onto a tire or try to unload it or something falls on them, that happy Georgia way is gonna turn into lawsuit.
That's right.
It's unfortunate that that's the society in which we live. And that's,
But they can,
you're agreeing with the indemnity thing, Rex, no matter what
yeah,
their
we need a
job.
write-off that, you know, we're not responsible for
but
anything.
even with that, I don't want them trying to unload trucks
That's
and
fine.
being out in the back part of that thing. They can be up front, talk to the people, we can give them instruction on how to guide people, which line we need them to go to, where we need them to go, check their IDs,